Welcome back, my dear student. So on this lecture, we're going to see how we can hook up into the registration of a user and decide what to do with it. So first of all, make sure that you have your registration and login files, and PHP Artisan has something here called auth. So we're going to say PHP Artisan make :auth. And that's going to create all our scaffolding. It's going to scaffold our application to look like this. Well, first of all, to have these links above. Okay, and when you click on those links, of course, you're going to go to a login page and registration page. Make sure that you also migrate your tables. Okay, I think we did that before, but just make sure that you have migrated it. So PHP Artisan migrate, just in case. Okay, so how do we hook up into the registration of a user? How do we do this? Well, first of all, we have a controller here in the auth for controllers, HTTP controller auth registration controller. This controller here is responsible for putting information about that user in that table. Okay, but it's also more responsible for other things, like if you go up and you see this use inside the class, this is a trait. So I'm going to click on this, and this trait is just basically a piece of code that has more functionality that we can use inside this class. Okay, look at all the functionality, all the methods that we can use. We're doing a lot of things here. This is just a way of organizing your code so it doesn't get all cluttered up. So we can see that we are showing the registration form here, that view. We are registering the user. So we are validating all that information. We are sending an event. We're firing an event. All right, which is going to create that new user. We are logging in the user, and we are returning some information here if it's true, if we are able to register. We're sending this request in this user, and if not, we are redirecting. So this function here is available right here for us to use. So now we can write our code here, and we have a little comment here, but we can write our code if we wanted to. I don't like to do that. I like to override stuff like this, so that way we don't play around too much with the core files. Okay, it's not a very good idea. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to take it back to registers controller, to the register controller here. I'm going to paste it down here. Now we can use this because we have the trait right here, so we're just basically overriding this. So let's think a little bit. Think about this for a bit. How are we going to do this? First of all, what is it that we need to do? Let's take it step by step. First of all, the first step is insert code into table. Okay, then we need to log the user out, because log out the user. Let me show you. Once you register a user here, okay, the user automatically, well, that doesn't match. What a surprise. Okay, there we go. So once we register the user, it gets logged in automatically, so we need to log him out. Okay, so let's go back here and let's actually delete that data so that way we can use it. Let's make sure that data is not there, and we can see that this data, we don't have any more data. Okay, so let's work on this. Insert code into the table. Well, first of all, let's look at the steps here. So we log the user out. What else we need to do? What else? Redirect user. Okay, and as a matter of fact, we could even mail the user, and we're gonna do this later. Mail the user here. Okay, so these are the steps. Let's work on this. So we have the user right here, so let's use that. And we also have a relationship that we can use. So let's go here to the user model, and we can see that we have this relationship. Okay, we can use this relationship to insert that code. So let's do that, And let's follow it up with the create method. And we're going to use the name of the column here. And we can do this in many different ways. I'm going to use a helper method, which I use all the time. And I'm going to set it to 128 characters there. Okay. So that should do for that. That should do it. What else we need? Well, the next step is log the user out. So we have a couple ways of doing this. We could use the auth facade here and say, well, I want to log out the user, just like this. And then you have to import this on top, okay? But because I don't want to import anything, I'm just going to say this guard, and we log the user out. Simple as that. Okay, this you can also log out the user this way. Now, after that, let's just put this comment here. We also need to mail the user. We're not going to do that on this lecture here. What we're going to be doing here is redirecting. So once we log out the user, our application is going to automatically send them into a login page, to the login page. But if we don't want that, if we want to send them somewhere else, we have the option here, and we can just send them somewhere else. Simple as that. But we're going to send them to the same page just to make it clear that that's where we want them, to the login page. Okay, so let's check this out real quick. We don't have a user, so because we deleted it, we'll refresh, we're going to get logged out. So let's actually register a user. I'm going to register the same user. Enter. And if I get the passwords to match, that would be nice. Don't you think? There we go. So it didn't log in the user, and we got it redirected back to the login page. Okay. Now it would be nice if we had some type of notification here, right? So we're gonna work on that in the next following lectures, because we don't have a notification here. We need to say, we need to let the user know that we gonna mail them a code. Okay, so remember that the next step would be to mail the user or email the user, and we need to let them know that we are going to be sending them an email. So okay, but anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this was clear to you, and I'll see you in the next lecture.